I'll start again. It is live hangout. Now I am at the right place. I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Tonight, I'm going to talk about study routine mistakes pre-intermediate and intermediate students make that will, well, get you stuck, my friend. You will be stuck at this level if you make these study routine mistakes. And at the end of the lesson, not at the end of the lesson, but in the middle end of the lesson, I prepared a practice for us to do based on some words that I'm going to use here in this lesson. Okay, so make sure to participate. I'm also live on Instagram. I think now I am in the right live. Yes, MEETUP Wednesday. Okay, good. And it's annoying because YouTube is probably going to tell everybody, hey, she's in another live, but she's in a new live. What live is she in? Let's see. Let me fix this. While I wait for some people to join. Let me take this away, put this private. This is what happens when you have a lot on your plate. Okay. Now, guys, tonight, study routine mistakes, okay? It's important to talk about them. And here on YouTube, you get to see these slides. So I strongly recommend people on Instagram come to YouTube because you will see what I'm talking about. And that will improve your experience. And people on YouTube, help me by sharing this video with your friends. Yes, we. That really helps the channel, yo. When you share, it means you care. And I know you care. Anyway, moving on, my friends. Tonight, study routine mistakes. So as I said, if you have a bad routine, you will be stuck. And this happens in any aspect of life. Tell me, if you have a bad diet, will you lose weight? Yes or no? Tell me here in the chat. If you have a bad diet, will you lose weight? Answer yes, answer no. In my opinion, the answer is no. If you have a bad diet, you don't lose weight. Let's see. If you have a good exercise routine, for the boys, I know the boys really like to be strong. If you have a bad exercise routine, will you get big arms, big biceps, yo, you know, super strong? Is that going to happen to you if you have a bad upper arm routine? Will you get the perfect biceps? YMCA, oh, baby, daddy, why? Well, if you have a bad routine, I doubt it, Wayne. I really doubt it. Unless you take drugs. If you take drugs, then you may have temporary results, you know? Don't do drugs, kids. Drugs are bad for you. So this applies to every aspect of your life. If you follow a bad regimen, you know, a routine, things are not going to work. If you are disorganized at work, in the office, are you going to be productive with your day if you are extremely disorganized? If your boss calls you and says, hey, what are you doing this morning? And then you answer to your boss, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing today. That's not very nice. So what does it mean? This applies to every aspect of life. If you have a bad plan, you will fail. You will be stuck, okay? Which routine? I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to give you some guidelines, so make sure to watch until the end. That's the goal of the lesson, okay? So one important thing you need to understand is you finish the basic practice, because if you're here watching me, you are you're past the basic moment. So I want to help you get to another level, get better to communication anywhere, anytime, talking to anyone. So that's important, okay? So if you want that to happen, it is mandatory that you follow a solid plan, okay, to understand native and non-native speakers, to talk to native and non-native speakers, and the success of your journey will be determined by your study routine. Yes. Let me fix my camera. It was raining a lot today. That being said, the first study routine mistake that I watch a lot of students making, lots of students, is English in the background, okay? Do you know the word background? Tell me here in the chat. Yes, no, I don't know, teacher, English background. Do you know background? It's an important word. Now, English in the background. So maybe right now I'm working. This is my job, okay? That's how I make a living. That one of the things I do. I come on YouTube, I build my channel, my content. So I'm here. And while I'm talking to you, I am, where is it? It's not here. I am listening to the course I bought, because I bought a course. I'm doing a course this year, a different one, okay? Not about English, to make me a better person and professional. So I'm listening and I'm talking to you. So my course is in the background. I will not pay attention. I'm talking to you. I'm busy. So if I listen to the course in the background, how am I going to learn? And this actually happened to me. I think today's Wednesday. On Monday I was watching a lesson to study. But while I was studying, I was replying to some comments on YouTube from you guys. You know, you post comments, I was replying. So I was replying to your comments and I was listening to the lesson. I didn't get anything. And then I watched it again this morning, focusing. It was not in the background anymore. Oh, there was so much information I didn't know, because I wasn't paying attention. So this is one mistake students make at this level. And why? Because you feel comfortable. Oh, I'm okay. I know a little English. I can understand teacher Prix. This is so good. So I can go to work and listen to some videos, you know, while I'm driving. Or, you know, when I am at the gym, I put some podcasts. I have this vocabulary app, so when I'm on the bus or, you know, at lunch, I'm doing some emails, like answering some emails, and then I do a little English. It doesn't work that way when English is in the background. If you want to change your level, if you want to go from pre-intermediate to advanced, fluent, confident, anywhere, anytime, from stuck to speaking, from stuck to listening and understanding people anywhere, anytime, this has to stop, okay? And this is the reason, this is the problem for pre-intermediate students. They get a little comfortable because they know a little English, so they get comfortable. And they end up stuck with this process. For a month, for 2 months, for 3 months, for 10 months, for a year. And by the time they need to do something important, they can't. They feel stuck. They feel like, oh, I'm not getting better. But I listen to English all the time. I watch teacher Prix videos every day when I'm going to work. Why nothing is happening? Nothing is changing in my life. Because English is in the background. English is not the priority. And if you treat your study routine this way, you will not improve. You will not go from stuck to speaking, comprehension, unlocking your fluency. You will stay at pre-intermediate for a long time. And you may think, oh, but I became intermediate. Maybe you're not even intermediate. You think you are. But depending on the person testing you, you will not be. Why? Because English is in the background. Or all your routine doesn't emphasize action. Only receiving information as little as possible because you're not completely there. And this is a problem we need to fix. We need to change. Now, the second one, and guys, you know that when you support the channel by liking and subscribing, that really helps. Okay? The second thing, one important thing that I do with my students in the academy, my BSA, they have a study routine, you know, and there they have to focus. Angie's a BSA. She studied at the academy. Don't you remember that, Angie? That with the lessons in the academy, it's impossible to be in the background. You have to pay attention, you have to study, you have to focus. Why? Because I created a routine that will take my students from stuck to speaking, comprehension, remembering the words. I changed the way they study. How much do you make on YouTube? Not much. I make a living by teaching, but on YouTube, I don't make a lot of money. I make money selling my products, my academy, sometimes consulting calls, but that's pretty much it. But that's not really a nice question to ask. This is an English lesson, bro. Anywho, with my students, I changed this. This is the reason why I have so many successful stories with my babies inside the academy. I create a plan that cannot be used in the background. They need to focus. And I'm so worried about focusing that I use NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, to help my students become more focused. Maybe you're not familiar with NLP. Tell me here, are you familiar with NLP? Neuro-linguistic programming. I use some techniques from NLP to help my students focus because it is important to focus. But when you focus with the wrong strategy, you don't have something substantial to work on, you don't get better, okay? So NLP is a combination of techniques to work on the mind, okay? These techniques, activities, guided exercises, they will work on opening your mind and helping you establish better emotional responses, emotional reactions to everything around you. So with this exercise, for example, this is one example. I created a technique to help my students in the academy to be more focused. Why? Because I don't want English in the background. I don't want my students to be using English in the background. Oh, I'm doing other things and putting a little English. No, English needs to be the main course, you know? The most important thing. And all the lessons support my students' experience. It's important. So they need the right guidelines. And I will give you recommendations to help you better organize your study routine. So stay with me until the end, okay? Now, one example of what I do with my babies, for example, in terms of listening practice. When I give the listening practice to my students, in every module they have listening activities. What do? I want my babies to brush up on their listening comprehension, okay? Tell me if you know brush up on, the meaning of brush up on. I would love to know that. It's a phrasal verb. Brush up on. I'm not reading the comments on YouTube. So annoying. I have to open my cell phone because it's not, the comments are not coming. The test shows me I am B1. Well, depends on the test you take. Did you take all skills tests, writing, vocabulary, reading, speaking, listening? It's important to know. There are so many tests on the internet, but they are not really complete, okay? Now, to brush up on, what does it mean to brush up on? It means to improve. Many people have never heard about NLP. NLP is fun, really fun, okay? Now, brush up on is to improve. So I want my students to improve their listening comprehension, to brush up on their listening comprehension. So with me, because I don't want English in the background, no, with my students, not in the background. I give a series of instructions so that they know what to do in each part of the listening activities, okay? What to do to understand the listening exercise, to test their comprehension, to test vocabulary. And when they finish, I show them ideas of what to do to work on comprehension, to work on pronunciation, to work on intonation. So I keep them busy, but I give them the direction so that they know how to put English as a priority, not in the background, okay? How brush up on, I wrote on YouTube. Come to YouTube, it'll be easier for you to see. Here I can't share slides, okay? Now, if you're enjoying the lesson, make sure to hit the like button. Jose, I'm going home and I'm listening. Yeah, but as I said, your English is in the background right now. And I am not saying you can never do that, okay? People, I'm not saying you cannot listen to English on the way to work, listen to English when you're driving. All I'm saying is, this is not study routine, okay? This is the thing. Your study routine needs to be with all the focus, all the attention on the exercise. If you're driving, you are not paying total attention. That's very important. And this is something you need to understand. If you want to go from stuck to speaking, from stuck to better comprehension, okay? That's mandatory. Of course, you will get some information that I give you. Oh, yes, I know you will. But that's not a study routine. And then many people come to me and say, but teacher, I'm not getting better. What do I do? Well, don't leave English in the background, okay? That's an important change, okay? Now, teacher, your class is super. Thank you. Thank you very much. If you're thinking this class is super, super duper, share with your friends. And I will give you practice, okay? I'm teaching a lot of words here, some phrasal verbs. Pay attention. And then I will give you an exercise, but only on YouTube. I will be able to focus on YouTube. People on Instagram, come, just come. Type, okay? Anywho, the next one. Oh, this is bad, okay? This is bad, bad, bad. The second problem in your study routine, and I will explain, let me explain, okay? Give me some time to explain this, is to think that, oh, I am a B1, a B2. I just need conversation. That's all I need. I just need to find a teacher or a friend on the internet or those people on those apps for $10 an hour, $5, 30 minutes. And I will talk, and that's all I need now. Excuse me, teacher, reading, writing, studying. This doesn't work for me. No, I'm old school, okay? I have had results for a very long time. I've helped a lot of people, and there's even science to back me up. Of course, conversation classes are great. I give group calls to my students in the academy. Every month, twice a month, we have group conversation classes. We get together, we talk, we chat. It's amazing. But you know what makes a big change with my babies is not that. It's the study routine. Doing the lessons, following the recommendations, that's what makes them get better. Go from stuck to speaking anywhere, anytime, getting a better job, learning how to communicate efficiently. So at a pre-intermediate level, students believe that all they need is conversation and all their problems will be solved. But that's not how it works. This is not a study routine. So we need to consider that I want to improve. I need to work on specific skills. All the English skills need to be combined, okay? That's a very, very important thing for you to do. And this, unfortunately, makes many students believe they are not getting better. Oh, I'm not getting better. You know, I try. I have helped many students from my academy who had conversation classes every week in other places with other people and they were not getting better. Why? Because that's not how it works. And many students feel frustrated that, oh, there's a problem with me. So many of them give up because they think, oh my goodness, something is wrong with me because I had a teacher, I had a conversation class, and I was not getting better. Is it true that if I read aloud, you will improve pronunciation and intonation, but reading aloud is not a speaking exercise, okay? What I'm doing right now could be a speaking exercise, but just reading a book, that's not a speaking exercise. A good exercise, but not a speaking exercise, okay? So guys, of course you can take conversation classes. I give my students in the academy group conversation classes, but that's not the solution. That's not a study routine, okay? And maybe you don't know me, but I have been working as a teacher for 16, 17 years. And I have helped a lot of people. When I went to Harvard, I took 2 courses there. We had very little time to talk to our friends, okay? We had to make presentations, and in most of the presentations, we had a lot of work of a preparation to do to get ready. It was not like, oh, let's sit down and chat. How are you feeling today, guys? Come on. No, you know, even with my students, when we have group conversation classes, I'm like, okay, before we start, let's take a look at this video. I want you to pay attention. I want to test your listening comprehension. I want to see how many words you get, what you understand, vocabulary, explain it to me. That's the point, okay? That's what you need to do. It's not just, oh, let's talk. That's not going to help. Oh, but teacher, I am advanced. Same. Teacher, I'm fluent. Same. I still sit down to study because that's what makes me better. Speaking, this that I'm doing right now is the result of my study routine when I sit down to do the work, okay? How much time did I get to go to the intermediate English? Very little, because I learned English in 6 months. In 6 months, I had already finished a program that I had studied, and I was already working as a school assistant. So that's what took me. But I think that on average, a person can easily, beginner, okay, total beginner. What I do with my students from the academy, I don't help total, complete beginners. In my academy, I help students, pre-intermediate, intermediate students to go from stuck to speaking comprehension, you know, anywhere, anytime. That's what I do with my babies. But someone who has nothing, I believe that in 1 year you can get really good. Really good. And then you join my academy and you get even better. Of course, that you should never stop, okay? Never, never stop. So it's a very, very important thing. I hope that clarifies a little, Jen. Anyway, let's keep going, Okay, now, the next thing, number 3, okay? Unintentional practice. With my students, I give them recommendations of how much time to study, but 3 to 5 times a week. It depends on how much time you have available. So if you have more time, 5 times a week, and I give my students recommendations, extra activities, challenges so that they can do more if they want to do more. If they're very busy, they can stick to a routine that is 3 times a week. That's healthy. Nowadays, I study 3 to 4 times a week. To study English, that's what I do. Okay? Now, the next mistake in your study routine that is making you stay at this level, okay? And this is a little connected with the English in the background. Oops. Unintentional practice. What is unintentional practice? And I talked about this morning. I talked about this. Every morning, I create a new lesson on YouTube. Make sure to watch them. That are amazing lessons every morning. Are you watching the lessons in the morning? Tell me here in the comments. Are you watching the morning lessons? I made a promise, and I will make daily morning lessons every day this year. I started in December, actually, and I promised myself that I will be here with a morning lesson, a different lesson every morning on YouTube. YouTube, okay? So make sure to check them out. Very well. So make sure to check, guys. Support the channel. Watch the lesson. Come on. Now, this morning I talked about that. This morning I talked about vocabulary and how you can multiply, double, triple the vocabulary you know, the words you know. So watch the lesson. It is fun. It's good. It's really good. So what is unintentional practice? This morning, I told you guys how to study and learn more words. Okay, more. And then I used the word lovely. And I talked about a dear neighbor of mine, a lovely neighbor I had when I was a child who was really special and kind to me. And I was showing you what is intentional work. Because sometimes when students study English, they come here to my channel. For example, you watch a lesson, okay? So here on my YouTube channel, I will always bring lessons. All kinds of lessons. Listening, strategies, vocabulary, grammar. However, here on YouTube, I don't organize the lessons for you. I don't give you the step-by-step of, okay, you do this, then you do that, then you do this exercise, then you do this listening practice, then you do this speaking exercise. No, I only do that with my students in the academy. But here, I give you lessons, a lot. I don't combine all these skills. You are in charge of that. Do you know to be in charge of? To be in charge of. To be in charge of. Tell me if you know this expression. Pablo, you need to study grammar. It's absolutely important. Absolutely. But not in a crazy way. And I will talk a little bit about that. And I have some videos here on my channel that talk about that, but not in a crazy way. Okay? Why do I block people? If they say something, I block people sometimes on my channel because if they say something that is not cool or that can have ambiguous interpretation, I prefer to block or my assistant to block because I get in trouble with YouTube if there's something that is not nice. Another reason why I love to come here on YouTube, but my house, my rules. So if someone says something I don't like, my house, my rules. So that's very simple. No hurt feelings, but my house, my rules. So if you say something that I'm like, dude, I don't get it. Goodbye. Have a nice day. You can still watch the lessons, but have a nice day. Nothing, no hurt feelings. It's just a rule of thumb that I follow to keep the channel clean, okay? So if someone comes to my channel and repeatedly says, oh, you're so hot, you're so sexy, bye. It's an educational channel. But you can say, oh, teacher, beautiful eyes, nice makeup, I like it, that's nice. But if that's all the person does, goodbye. I'm here to teach, okay? Good, Junior, to be responsible of something. Very good. So you are in charge of that. So I give you all the lessons. A lot. In the morning, I sit down, I drink my coffee, I think of you, and I prepare a lesson. But you are in charge of organizing everything. You are in charge of working on your listening comprehension because here I'm a teacher. It's easier to understand me because I'm a teacher. But you need listening practice. You can't just use me to work on your listening comprehension. And that's what I do with my babies. They have lessons with me, but they also have listening exercises to listen to native speakers. That's important, okay? So you have to be intentional with your practice. And it's actually the opposite that happens to students. They are not intentional. So they watch a lesson here, a video there, something here. They see a short video on YouTube or on Instagram. But they are not intentional. They don't organize their study routine. They don't combine the English skills. They don't even know how much time they spend on each activity. And I know that many of you have wonderful intention at heart. You have good intentions, but you don't plan, you don't organize, you're not intentional with the things you do every week. And as a result, you stay stuck at this level. This is what I identified the most with students. I'm always talking to students. Someone says here, oh, you lose your temper. Bye. I don't lose my temper. People know me. I'm very fun. I'm very excited. But when I'm talking serious, I'm talking serious. Because I know how important it is for you guys to speak English. I know how important it is to get a better job, to talk to people anywhere, anytime. So when I am talking about this, I'm serious. I really am. But I also make the jokes, okay? Now, as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, yes. I often get your messages, comments, DMs, emails. And you guys, when I start to go deep and ask you questions of what you do, I repeatedly get the same answer. One thing that I need you to understand is when I come here on my channel and I create these lessons to talk about strategy, common mistakes, don't be fooled. I am watching you. I'm watching the mistakes you guys make, the questions you usually share with me, the study routine you guys share with me all the time. And based on your answers, on the things you share with me, the things you post in the comments, maybe you're not even sharing with me, but you're posting in the comments, oh, this always happens to me, blah, blah, blah. That's when I create my lessons. So I'm always paying attention. And unintentional practice happens. Oh, I watch a lesson, I read this article, and that's it. I downloaded some podcasts to my cell phone. When I'm driving, I listen. I have this vocabulary app. Every day, the vocabulary app gives me some words, and then I save them. Sometimes I see a word in a movie. I save it in my phone. I'm talking about that right now, Eduardo. Now, this is the problem. What is the problem with the vocabulary app? Unintentional practice. Am I connecting the vocabulary app with a conversation subject, with my reading and listening activity, with my speaking practice? Or as I said, oh, today the app recommended this word to me. Okay, I'll study. And then tomorrow a new word, a new expression. So that is unintentional practice. It's not bad, but it's not helpful for a study routine, okay? That's what I'm focusing on. That's the main focus of the lesson. Not to mention that you need to combine all the English skills, okay? Now, that being said, here are some important, some important study routines you need to make. And the first one is, don't exaggerate. Students tend to be very excited. Like, Messias, I study every day. That's good, okay? Yeah, that's good. Study every day. But no exaggerations. That's my concern, okay? So don't exaggerate. And what is to exaggerate? Oh, I study 2-3 hours a day. Then on the way to work, I'm listening to something in English, and I have this grammar book and I study it all the time, 3 to 4 hours on the weekends. When I say anywhere, anytime, I mean you will talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime. You will not study anywhere, anytime. You're busy, you have other things to do. So you don't need to exaggerate, okay? So for a listening practice, depending on the material you use, you will not be able to do different activities because the audio alone is too long. So it doesn't allow you to do something more. This is something that I do with my students inside the academy and other programs I have. Efficient audio listening practices. If it's something that is too long, You don't get to explore vocabulary, grammar, and other activities. And that's the danger of exaggerating. Oh, I'm going to watch this 1 hour, 2 hour movie and I'm going to study. Too much. It's exhausting to do that. And if you feel exhausted, if you feel overwhelmed, do you know the word overwhelmed? Tell me here, yes or no? Do you know the word overwhelmed? People on Instagram, people on YouTube. I know. Me, nerd. Me, I know. Mad, how can I practice English with myself? Answer one question daily. 1 to 3 questions daily. Sometimes I study 8 hours. I would strongly recommend you reduce that. Reduce that to at least 4. 8 is too much. I don't recommend at all, okay? At all. 8 hours is like insane. The only moment in life when I would be okay for someone to study 8 hours a day is only if you are a teenager, you have time, you don't need to work, you don't have many responsibilities at home, you have plenty of time. If that's your case, if you're a teenager up to you're 18, then you can study many hours because you're young. You have plenty of time. You don't have many responsibilities. And when I say responsibilities, you don't have bills to pay. You don't have work priorities. You don't have family priorities. So you have a lot of space in your mind and you are at a different moment in life, at a different phase. Your brain works a little differently. So in that case, it would be okay. But even then, I would still need to give you some important recommendations. Okay, so if you're a teen, I don't teach a lot of teenagers here on my channel. Based on YouTube numbers, not many teenagers watch, but it would be okay. So overwhelmed. What does it mean to be overwhelmed? When you are feeling overwhelmed, it means that there are so many things, so much stuff going on that you're like feeling under a lot of pressure. It affects you. So you have a lot of things overwhelming you, affecting you emotionally, okay? They affect you very strongly. And because of this, you are feeling overwhelmed. You don't know how to manage the situation because it's overwhelming you. So if I say I'm overwhelmed, things happening around me are too much, and they are affecting me in a way that I cannot manage the situation. So this is why I tell students not to exaggerate. Because if you exaggerate, no, check the YouTube, you will see the spelling. If you exaggerate, you will feel overwhelmed, okay? And that's not healthy. When you feel overwhelmed, you stop. In most scenarios, the students start to procrastinate if they're feeling overwhelmed, okay? That's not healthy at all. Now, the second thing you need to do, you need to plan what you want to learn and how you can connect with your life. So this morning I was talking about some learning more words based on what you already know. And then I connected the word to describe someone important to me. So I connected that word with my life. So if this week I am planning, tomorrow, for example, I'm going to teach vocabulary about money. Tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow, by the way, new lesson about money. I'm going to plan you, okay? I'm thinking of you. Planning. I will watch the lesson. How can I connect this lesson with my life? How can I use the vocabulary teacher Prix is teaching me to talk about important things connected with money and connected with my life? And it doesn't stop there. How can I connect the other English skills? Reading, writing, listening, to talk about money and use the words about money that I'm going to teach. This is the challenge. This is the planning that you need to do. Okay? That's very, very important. And this is not simple. It takes time, but it can be done. This is what I do. This is what I do with my students. I plan everything for them inside the academy. And this will make your life much easier. But you need to start organizing your study routine that way. Oh, okay. I'm watching a lesson from teacher Prix about, let's see. This week I made a lesson. Last week I made a lesson about, okay, the more. This week I made a lesson on Tuesday about comparative, double comparative. The more. Again, how am I going to connect this grammar point to talk about something important in my life? That's what you need to start doing, and many people don't. So that's the second thing you need to start doing. 3, exercises from books will not determine how well you understand a lesson. You need to use what you study, okay? So this happens a lot. I love grammar books. I have no problems with books, okay? I like them, they're very nice, but you need to learn how to use them. And only doing the exercises will not determine that, oh, I got it, I understood. No, this is part of planning. So you can study a grammar lesson from a book, no problems. I have grammar books, but it's what you do later. I finished the lesson. Now I'm gonna do the exercises I want, okay, no problems. But now how can I create my examples? For example, the more on Tuesday, the grammar lesson. How can I create examples connected with my life? And if I watch the video, if I check the comments, let's see here. I'm opening the comments section from that video. The more, spreading the news, grammar in use. Comments. People are posting comments. And then here, George, he posted a comment and he even corrected. He said, teacher, I like chocolate too much as well. He's telling me, connecting with his life. See, he's connecting with his life. I'm reading this comment from a video. But unfortunately, the more chocolate I eat, the more bowel irritation. Stomach ache, intestine, bowel, okay? The more bowel irritation I get. Awesome, Giorgio! You got a correction live! Well, it's bad, but he understood. So he used the lesson, he posted a comment to me, and he used it to talk about the bad side effects of eating too much chocolate, okay? So that's what I'm trying to say. This is intentional practice. So you will need, grammar books are nice, grammar lessons are nice, but you only understood if you use it. I always tell my babies inside the academy, oh, you understood the lesson? Give me an example. Let me see your example. That's how I know, okay? The less time I spend on social media, the more videos from Teacher Prix I watch. Very nice, Afonso. Pay attention to the corrections I make, okay? So that's what I do. My hair is a little messy today, you know? Anyway. And guys, make sure to help the channel. Like, subscribe, you know, share. When you share, angels start singing. Like, oh. No, that's not true. Well, I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they sing. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, you really help, okay? You help other people and you help me. And YouTube understands that this is a good channel, okay? What's the point of learning something if you're not gonna use it? That's what I mean, messieurs, right? Oh, this happens all the time. This happens all the time. Maybe you think that way and I agree with you, okay? Yes. But people spend a lot of time on the internet learning stuff they're never going to use. Or they study, but they never use it. Okay, so I try to be efficient with the lessons I give. And number 4, speaking is a skill. Practice the skill weekly, even if you are alone. Okay? This is very important. So if you are alone, you don't have a speaking friend, I know. When I started studying, I had nobody to practice English speaking with me. So I understand your position. That's why I practiced speaking by myself. So it's a skill. You practice vocabulary, grammar, listening. So you gotta practice English speaking. So my recommendation is answer questions every day. 2, 3 questions. They will help you improve your reaction time. Reaction. What is reaction? No. Answer the question. Oh, okay. So this reaction. The more time you need before you give your answer, the slower your reaction time is. So this means you need to practice more. And the more questions you practice answering, the faster you're going to get at answering questions. And this is a practice. In real life, you will still have problems. Everybody does. But you will be better prepared. Okay? That's very, very important. Now, the practice that I promised. People on Instagram, you come to YouTube. You're going to miss it. Now, guys, in this lesson, I used some words, okay? For example, stuck. Do you know the word stuck? Stuck in a moment and you must get out. If you're stuck. Teacher, what is to be stuck? To be stuck means to be in a bad situation, okay? Unpleasant. Bad situation or place, and you cannot escape from this place, from this situation. So maybe right now you're stuck at intermediate or pre-intermediate. You can't communicate. You understand teachers like me, but you don't understand movies, native speakers, so you're stuck. That's stuck, okay? Now, yes, Ninita, that's right. Number 2, to brush up on. That's the second word, okay? To brush up on means to improve. That's the second word. The next word, to give up. Do you know give up? Many people know. Don't stop believing. I want to feel the street lights. Oh. To give up means to quit. I can't do this no more. Goodbye. To give up. Okay. Then I showed you to be in charge of. I'm in charge of my life. And to be in charge of means to be responsible for something. I'm responsible for something. Then I used an expression, a collocation. Take the time to. Usually take the time to do something. Do you know this expression? Take the time to do something. When you take the time to do something, it means to spend time, enough time to do something well, to pay attention and do something. So, for example, I always take the time to prepare these lessons for you guys and bring you the very best. So I deserve a like and a share and a subscribe. Oh my goodness. Now, and the last one, overwhelmed. When you feel overwhelmed, it sucks. It does. Overwhelmed means if you are overwhelmed by a feeling or event, it affects you very strongly and you do not know how to deal with it, okay? You don't know. Now, what are we going to do? I want to have an intentional practice with you. So I want you to pick 1 or 2 or 3 words from this list, and I want you to post an example here in the chat. I'm going to read, okay? So I want you to pick one of these words and create an intentional example. I want to know about your life now. Maybe something that happened to you many years ago, you know, I want to know. So you have to use stuck, brush up on, give up, to be in charge of, take the time to, and overwhelmed. But you need to tell me something about your life, okay? So if you understand the assignment, give me one example. I want to know. Teacher, hope one day to speak like you. You can. Oh, to speak to me. Well, if you're a student from my academy, the chance of that happening are very high. I understand, but I don't speak. You need to establish a speaking practice, okay? I'm waiting for your examples, your intentional practice. So tell me something, create a phrase, tell me something about your life, because I want to know. I really want to know. I don't want to let me go. I don't give up, so I will practice more every day. Okay, nice, Lopez. You don't give up, so you will practice more every day. Now I have a question for you. What is one idea that you're going to implement from this lesson that you're watching? Something, an insight, an idea, an inspiration that you had from this lesson to help you not to give up. Answer here to me. My English is stuck because I don't follow Teacher Prix's recommendations. But now I will change it. Yes, Eduardo, that's awesome. Eduardo, a device has no plural, okay? You could say pieces of advice, but here I would stick to recommendation because with recommendation I could do that, okay? But nice, nice. I don't give up to learn English. Here, Loretta, I would say I don't give up learning. I would say learning, but it's okay if you say to learn. I don't give up on love. I'm studying business administration in English. I can understand my teachers, but when I have to speak, I get stuck. Okay, Malu, I get stuck and I can't speak. I would say I can't. I wouldn't repeat I don't. I would say I can't. I'm not able, okay? Just a recommendation. I'm not able to do it. So I get stuck and I'm not able to do it. I can't. I freeze. Awesome. You go, girl. Let's see more examples. I don't chat with people on WhatsApp. Next week, this month is going to be very special. Very soon, I'll be starting a workshop, Fluent in 6. And we have some WhatsApp groups for that. But we don't chat there, okay? These WhatsApp groups will be used to send you notifications, exclusive materials, so stay in the groups. If you're participating in the workshop, you will get some exclusive materials, I'm telling you. Yeah. I got stuck on my English learning process. However, I have just returned to the academy and I can say I'm improving much more. Elma, that's awesome, girl. That's the spirit. So Elma returned to the academy. She was stuck and she's improving much more. That's the spirit, girl. Awesome. I'm waiting for more examples. I'm here waiting for you. Or I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave right now. I remember Britney Spears' song, From the Bottom of My Broken Heart. Oh my goodness. Let's see what else you guys tell me. More examples. Nobody wants to post examples. Unbelievable. I will be, note 2, I will be in charge of my English improvement. I will be in charge of my English improvement. I don't give up at all. Learning English is a goal that I need. I would recommend just to include, okay, Hobson, it's a goal that I need to achieve, okay, that I need to achieve. And I want to reach. Oh, okay, so that I need and I want to reach. Okay, that's fine then. I didn't read the rest, so it's okay. I am always in charge of my children because I am a loving father, okay? Loving. I am a loving father. Tio, in English. Tio Davi, in English. Come on. I'm in charge of my English. That's why I might be clever at speaking. Well, good for you. You're the boss. I'm in charge here, yo. You will hear this in movies a lot. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. You're no boss of me, yo. Oh my goodness. Let's see more examples. I don't give up on love. Ba-da-da. You know, this is something that I spent my time doing inside the academy. The students study new lessons, new words, new expressions, phrasal verbs, grammar, and then they're constantly posting their comments to me so that I can correct them. You know, that's really important. Let's see. Any other comment? No more examples. I can't believe it. Where are the examples? No one used take the time. Overwhelmed. Let's see one thing here. And guys, what am I doing with you here? I am showing you that when you study, you need to take action, okay? If you don't take action, you don't improve. I feel overwhelmed sometimes. By what, Elisabetta? What makes you feel overwhelmed? Try to complete the phrase. Remember, we need to connect with our lives, but the more details you give, the better, okay? So what makes you feel overwhelmed? Work makes you feel overwhelmed. Your routine makes you feel overwhelmed. Your children, what? I expect to take more time, to take the time to practice my English. I'm taking the time to improve my English skills. I take the time to follow your lessons. Awesome, girl. The word is overwhelmed. Yes, Malu, that's the word. Maybe you feel overwhelmed when you have to, the other girl, maybe you feel overwhelmed at college when you need to speak English. You feel a little under pressure, like your teachers are expecting too much from you. Don't let that happen to you, okay? You need some NLP techniques to help you with that. You don't understand all the words. This is natural, Nenita. Maybe you're new around here. Are you new around here? Take the time to watch more lessons. You will adjust, but the focus is not 100%. The focus is to understand more and more each lesson you watch. And then with time, you get better, okay? Sorry, you lost me. What was the question? Watch the video again. I'm overwhelmed by my work. Okay, Loretta, very good example. Even though, Robson, even though I feel overwhelmed, I would complete, even though I feel overwhelmed right now, I'm going to die learning English. I'm not sure this is a good example. I would change it a little. Contextualize, okay? Contextualize. So even though I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now, I'm still studying English. I'm still dedicating myself to my English study routine. So that would sound a little bit more realistic, okay? Unless you're feeling overwhelmed by your English practice. So I would need some clarification on that, okay? Guys, did you like this practice? Tell me here, hashtag yes, no, teacher, I didn't understand anything. If you're watching the replay, post in the comments. Practice, take the time. I try to reply to the comments, as many as possible, okay? So tell me here if you enjoyed the lesson. Now, tomorrow, as I told you in the morning, I'm doing a lesson about money. Money, yeah, money. And guys, next week, we're going to be getting started with the warm-up, the preparation for my workshop. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. Make sure to register, okay? Make sure to participate because this workshop will be awesome. I posted the link here in the chat. People on Instagram, if you tap on my name, you will find the link, okay? All right, so I'm happy you guys enjoyed. Make sure to participate tomorrow. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, people. Bye-bye, people on Instagram. I don't know how to close the call. Oh, yeah. Bye, guys.